Almost every organisation will say our people are our number one asset. Yet in reality, most fail to plan and act in a way that shows that they really mean it. So let me explain. You've got a business plan, probably in the bottom drawer gathering dust, but you've got one somewhere. And you more than likely have a marketing plan and a financial plan or forecast. Of course you've got a sales plan. Well, I assume that you have, because if you didn't, that's what you would be doing right now. But what about a people plan? Less than 1 in 10 of you watching this video today will actually have a people plan or a people strategy. What's that, you ask? Well, it's a big gap in your strategic planning. That's what. If you've been watching this series since the start, you'll recall me talking about the VSRE model. And it starts with getting clear on your vision, which informs your strategy. Then once you have your strategy defined, that's where resources come in, and the most critical resource in business is your people, which is what we're talking about here today. So if you think about your strategic planning as encompassing the V, S and R, you can see that a people plan is a critical part of your strategic planning process. And every business is competing in 3 markets. The product and service market for customers, which is sales, the capital market for funding, which is financial, and the labour market for people. So if you want to attract and retain the right people, you need to put the effort into people planning, just as you do for sales planning or financial planning. So what does a people plan look like? Well, like this. So up here on the board, we have the 5 critical elements of a people plan: strategy, culture, structure, capacity and risk. So first up is strategy. Is there a strong link between your people strategy and your business strategy? This is vital. You can't separate the two. And if you do, there's only 2 possible outcomes: inefficiency or a change in direction. So make sure your strategies are clearly defined and documented. And then next is culture. And we spoke a little about this in the previous episode. So does your culture support the experience that you want to provide to your people? And the reason culture should feature in your people plan is because it should factor into your hiring process. The last thing that you want to be doing is hiring someone who won't be a cultural fit for your business. So do you have a documented culture? What are you trying to build in your business? It starts, of course, with your mission and core values. These should always be central to your culture. But it goes further than that, so your people plan will identify where your culture is at now and where you want to take it to. And then we come to structure. So this is vital as well. Too often hiring and firing decisions are made in isolation rather than as part of an overall plan. So you have a current organisation structure, or org chart if you prefer. But this isn't the one that you'll have in the future. So your people plan should identify the ideal organisational structure so that with every fresh hire, you're working towards building your future model rather than just adding to the one that you have now. And next is capacity. And this is perhaps the most obvious but still overlooked aspect of proper strategic planning, and that's capacity planning. Taking into account your vision and strategy. Where will you need additional capacity and when? So that could be simply more resources, but it could also be skills based. Maybe additional training to fill in gaps in your organisational structure. The default position is hiring decisions that happen in a reactive manner. We need more capacity now, let's hire someone. But then it's too late, and the time taken in the hiring process means that your business is now losing momentum. So proactive planning, on the other hand, identifies needs ahead of the time, giving you the luxury of getting the right person at the right time. And then finally, we have risk. This too is often overlooked. What positions do you currently have in your business that are currently at risk? So it could even be your own. If someone in your organisation was to get run over by a bus, well, let's hope they don't, of course, but if they did, what is the risk to your business? Is it heavily reliant on 1 or 2 key personnel? And what can you do to mitigate that risk? It could be a new hire, perhaps cross-training or even documentation of systems and knowledge. But your people plan needs to include an element of risk minimisation. So that's the challenge for your business this week. Do you have a people plan in place? And if not, I suggest you spend some time and make it happen.